First thing you need to do is download the MyFitnessPal app to your phone. Obviously, you may have an iPhone or an Android, so they are a little bit different in how they work with the features or just the way that you add things. I have the Android phone here, so I'm going to set up an account. If you've got a Facebook account, that's very easy. You can hit continue with Facebook and you're going to get straight in there. But as I already have an account and I'm using Facebook, I'm going to sign up with an email. So you've got a couple of questions here: lose weight, maintain weight, gain weight. Now, ideally, you've had your calories set already, so let's just put in maintain weight, okay? And it asks you how active you are, and we'll say we're lightly active. You don't really need to worry about those things too much if your calories have already been worked out. Select your gender, and we'll select our birth date. That will do. And you can put your location in. And next. And then add in your height and weight. And your weight. Let's put that in. Okay, so we'll put in our email address. This is a dummy account that I've set up, so it won't be used for anything, so it doesn't matter what password I put in here. Just got to remember the dummy account first. Okay. Okay. Click that. Read the terms and privacy policies if you need. Sign up. Okay. Have a read through those. Takes a little while to get going. Okay, so we're in. It's worked out some calories for me. Now, always tracking calories, it's a bit easier. You can leave these reminders on. You don't really need any latest news or offers from MyFitnessPal. So we're going to start tracking now. Okay, and we don't need the premium features either. Okay. We won't worry about verifying the email just yet. So, it comes up, you've got meals in here: breakfast, lunch, dinner and snacks. So, you can search for food. Let's type in some Weet-Bix. So, it's brought up some Sanitarium Weet-Bix. Okay. There's always different variations, so sometimes it's a little bit tricky to find what you want, but I know that those are the Weet-Bix. Okay, so it sort of gives you a bit of a helping guide here. We can put in our servings, you just hit here, but we can also change. So just to say we didn't have 2 Weet-Bix, but we had 1.5, and we were to weigh them on scales, it might come out at 25 grams. So 25 times 1, obviously. And hit save. And then we're going to tick at the top. Okay. And then that puts it in there. Another way you can do this: add food and use the barcode. So I'm going to hit this barcode here. Get rid of that. Hit the barcode. And we've got the Weet-Bix, so you need to line up. There you go. Don't need any timestamps. So we've got our 2 biscuits. Obviously, if we're going to change them, and say we only had, okay, so gone one biscuit. So sometimes you'll find this particular way of doing it, it doesn't allow you to do it. So we've got to go 1.5 of the biscuits and hit. Okay, so you can see there's a big difference. Or obviously 25 grams is probably not correct because I didn't weigh them. I was just having a guess anyway. 1.5. I've gone 1.5 servings. So you know, see how you can get a bit confused. So what we actually need to do is go 1.5 is going to be 0.75 of 2 biscuits. So 1.5 biscuits. And then we hit there. So there, yeah, 25 grams is pretty much 1.5. And there it's got it in there, 1.5. So just need to be aware what you're putting in there. And obviously we can go in, we can add in milk. We can scan our milk with the barcode. Or say we know the milk fingers are too fat for typing. We'll search for A2 milk. And let's say we're using the light milk here. And it's 250 mils. How about we don't have 250 mils? We put in 1 mil and we'll weigh or measure the serving. So let's say we have 150 and we hit save. And tick, okay? So that's how you put the food into MyFitnessPal. Now, what I recommend you do is hit me and we'll go to this settings button at the top. So, edit profile. Now make sure your units are in kilograms and centimeters. Obviously, if in the US, you might want to change that. But if you're using metric, obviously, change it to that. Go to the one goals at the bottom. And we're going to go to nutrition goals, calories, carbs, protein and fat goals. We're going to tap that. So if we've worked out our calories, we know how much we want to have for our deficit if we're losing weight, if we're maintaining, or if we're having a calorie surplus. So let's say we've worked out our calories and it's 2,000 for the day. We'll hit save. Now, in a calorie deficit, the most important thing you will look at is calories. And then getting protein would probably be the next thing to look at, making sure you get enough protein. And the mixture of carbohydrates and fats doesn't really matter. So if you're someone who likes more fats in your diet, we can change that around and tick, and it will change the quantities, okay? So maybe you want to, in this case, we're going to have a little bit more protein, 25%, 30%. So let's just knock off 10% from your fats and then hit tick. So it's always going to work out to 100%, and then you can see the different amounts. But the most important thing for weight loss, body fat loss, is your calories. Okay? Obviously, if we're going to gain muscle, then you're going to probably want to really focus on your protein, looking at somewhere between 1.4 and 2.5 grams of protein per kilo of body weight, and you'll work out and adjust accordingly. Anyway, let's get out of there. So it has all these things here, maintain weight. If I was to go in there, it will change my calories. But because I've manually put them in there, I'm not going to worry about that stuff, okay? So you're better off having the correct calories that you want to do than relying on MyFitnessPal. And if your calories have been worked out by a professional like me, it will already have incorporated your activity levels and include your exercise. So the calorie levels that you see is for you, and you don't need to minus anything or add anything with your exercise. And so I wouldn't track exercise through MyFitnessPal because quite often it's wrong and it can start making your results go haywire and you don't lose any weight or you don't gain any weight. Okay, so just bear that in mind. Now, we also want to go in here and find, and this is sometimes because there's so many different options, we've got to go in and find where we can change the meals. So I think that's in diary settings. So diary settings is down here. Now, looking at this, customize meal names. So we'll click on that one. So it gives you 6, okay? Now, breakfast, well, it doesn't have to be called breakfast. It can be called meal 1. Okay, and this is a better way of setting it up because you don't have to have all these meals. It gives you the option to not have breakfast. You just call them what you want to call them. I think this is the better way of doing it. If you eat twice a day, you only fill in 2 boxes. If you eat more than that, you can fill in more. So let's type these in. Okay, so we've got our meals there, so we'll hit that. So it's changed. Now, if we go back and we go to, actually before we go in there, there is a bit in these where it says share your diary. So if you've got a coach, me or someone else, you can add friends, do it with Facebook, send them an invite by email, and go back in here, diary settings. Now there should sharing diaries. So you click on that one. I suggest you probably don't make your diary private, but you can share it with friends. And you can also share it with a locked key. So you make a password and then share your diary, and so your coach has that key so no one else can get in. Yeah, I don't really want to at this present time anyway. So once you've gone back, so if you share that with friends, and then we go back, and then there was a part somewhere where we saw it a minute ago, friends, add friends. So we add our friends in. That will email your code. Once they hit accept, obviously they've got to have MyFitnessPal. Once they accept, they will be able to see your diary and see what you're eating. So that's about it for MyFitnessPal. We'll go to the diary because we'll see what we changed. So meal 1, we've got those items in there. Obviously, we'll get rid of one of them because we didn't have 2 lots of 2 servings. So there. So we've got 150 calories for that meal 1. Meal 2, then it will come up with something that you've already used before. So if you were to have those every day and for breakfast, and it's exactly the same, then that's actually quite easy. You can set it as a meal. Well, let's look for something else. So let's look for some bread. And so there's so many different types. So quite often it's going to be really easy if you've got a brand that you use. We will just use Safeway bread. Let's say we've been to Safeways. So on that particular one serving, so 1 slice is 100 calories. So that's very simple. Obviously your bread's going to be completely different, but again, if you had a half a slice, This one doesn't here give you options to put in grams, so just bear in mind that it's probably not a great one if you want to weigh your bread, which ideally weighing is a better option. Okay, what else can we think of here? Let's see what dark rye they've got. Any particular brand, I reckon. Oh, let's just have a look at these Ryvita crisp bread things. So one crisp bread, again, not great. Trying to find one. Actually, what we'll do, we'll scan bread here that I've got that I think allows me to do that. So we're going to go to the barcode, scan that one. Okay, so that's that one in there. Does that let me change it to grams? Yes, it does. So now with this particular bread, it's great because I can hit the 1 gram, and I didn't have 125. I only wanted 50 grams, so I weighed out 50 grams of bread, or I cut it into that size one and hit save. So there we go. When we tick and so on, we'll add whatever else we have on our bread. Okay, you can do that all the way through. Now, let's say it's the weekends and you go and have some beers, or you know you're going out. Don't forget that you've got to add in all these things. Now you can put them in any meal where you want. So we're going to add food. We're going to add the beer in here. There we go. So that one beer is 96 calories. So pretty much anything you're going to consume by mouth, you are going to add in to MyFitnessPal if it's got calories. If it's a sugar-free drink, black tea, black coffee, don't need to enter it in. Also, if you are using spray oils or oils, a simple trick is put them onto a scale, hit the tare button so it goes to 0, take it off, spray or pour your oil into the pan and put it back on, and it will say maybe -5. So therefore you've got 5 grams of oil you've used in your cooking. So then you can add in your oil. Let's just put one in here just for the sake of it. And we'll use this spray oil. And we're going to just get that one in there. Oh, there we go, 5 mils of oil. But let's say we use 10. There you go, 80 calories. So all these little bits add up. So that's a very simple way to use MyFitnessPal. You just have to be aware of everything that you're using, because it's easy to forget things, and then you realize that you lose weight because you're having these extra bites, sips, drinks that are holding you back. So if you're going to track, do it properly and you'll get great results.